Okay. Welcome to Read It and Screech, where I give book reports that should definitely be fact-checked. Okay, the second thing says read the tagline and see if Eva guesses the book. The tagline is...
The book based on the tagline?
Yeah, based on the little thing that
Like the book jacket? Is this the book jacket?
No.
Oh.
I just kind of said tagline. I wasn't sure if that was really what it was, but... The Bachelor meets the Hunger Games. 10 women, a deadly contest. Only one can win the Sun King's heart.
Is this the Princess Games? Because I read that.
No.
Oh, never mind. I was excited for one. Oh, no.
No, this is the Trial of the Sun Queen.
But you told me it was a different book.
I know, it's a plot twist. Oh, I forgot to start. Damn it, we have to do it again.
First up,
Welcome to Read It and Screech, where I give book reports that should definitely be fact-checked. Read the tagline to see if Eva guesses the book.
I'm just Screech. I'm not reading it.
The Bachelor meets the Hunger Games. 10 women, a deadly contest. Only one can win the Sun King's heart. Can you guess what book it is?
The Sun King's heart. The Princess Games is my guess. I read that and then I stopped reading it because she didn't put the next one out and then I forgot to read it.
I hate that. That's why you have to make a TBR.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Okay, this is by, what do you think it's going to be about? I just told you.
10 women trying to... Doesn't The Bachelor have like 30 people on it?
I'm not totally sure. I've only seen little pieces of it. I'm not sure.
Question. I'm going to Google this because I've never seen The Bachelor. Do they fuck everyone on The Bachelor?
Oh, yeah. We'll get there. Okay. The statistics on this book are that... it's by...
Rules on The Bachelor. Hold on. Rules on The Bachelor. 61 wild Bachelor rules. I'm not reading all of that.
I don't feel like...
You can't tell anyone you've been cast. You have to buy all your own... I don't care about any of this. Can you...
I care. Do you have to buy your own clothes?
Yeah. No, I read an article one time, and I didn't care about do they use condoms on The Bachelor? Does ABC provide the condoms? Yes, they do.
Do they really?
They give too many condoms to the guys, which is crazy. They should give them to the girls, but they only give them to the guys to make it not awkward. How is that not awkward? No. I read this article one time about one girl, and I don't know. Because I didn't read it and I don't know what year it was. I mean, I did read it, but I don't know what year it was. But she got kicked out the first day, and she was mad because she had bought $5,000 or $8,000 worth of clothes to go on that thing or whatever. And then they were like, "No, boo, you got sent home the first day." And she was like, "I spent all this money on clothes," and they were like, "No one told you to do that."
I don't know.
So, who knows?
Asked and answered. So yes, they fuck. We already knew that because they talk about it sometimes.
Well, all of them, though, is my question. Not one. They sleep with the last one. Do they sleep with all of them?
Yes.
Ew. Okay.
Anyway, so this is on Kindle Unlimited. It's 395 pages.
Kindle Unlimited only, or is it also a paper item book?
You can buy a copy of it.
Do you know a weird thing that happens when I read Kindle Unlimited? Sometimes I find spelling errors.
I hate that. I hate that. It ruins it for me.
Is it a paper printed book? Because I don't think that happens.
Yeah, but it does. It does. You just get a printed error.
Okay. Sometimes it'll be you'll be reading and then "and" will be spelled with
No, and sometimes the covers are messed up too.
Okay.
So it's on Kindle Unlimited. There's 395 pages on the Kindle version of it.
I was gonna say, but that's not the real version though. Those are
comparable.
Because then when your phone's 300 pages, but on your
no,
phone,
but your phone will split the pages up.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a long read. It wasn't it wasn't 20 pages split into 200.
My mafia boss's son's babysitter.
Some of those are long too. Okay, it was 11 hours and 53 minutes to listen to, which I did. I felt the narrator was very okay.
You gave a day of your life to this endeavor?
Yeah. I felt the narrator was very similar to the main character and very unlikable. So
I
they
hope that they don't listen to this.
they matched in tone. I
Okay,
mean,
well, I'm gonna give you that energy and say that I don't listen to audiobooks because they make me tired. And also, most of the time, those people sound like they have a lot of phlegm in their mouth.
you act like that's a special thing to audiobooks, but really listening to anyone speak is tiring.
Well, then why are we doing
I don't know how you're
Let's
awake
listen
right
to
now.
us speak.
Okay, so it has 4 stars on Goodreads, which was very misleading.
That's high.
Yes, which was
Ambitious
one
as
of the things that made me think it would be okay to read. The tagline we already went over. The dedication was for anyone who finds themselves driven by love and rage. I don't know. And I chose to read it. That's what editing's for. I chose it because I felt like it would have smut and a fast plot. I wasn't correct or incorrect in that assumption. I was somehow right and wrong about that. And it's told alternating between first and third person.
Jail.
So instead of like a dual POV where it's like this is how he felt and then here's how she felt or what have you, it's this is what I'm going through and then this is what the man is going through, as if someone's
in the corner who had to watch.
Yes, as if someone's watching.
Who did that the fucking worst ever?
Was it Nisha Tuli?
Who is that?
The author of this book.
No, it was the man, the myth, the legend. Homeschool. What's it called? Prodigy.
Oh, the guy with the dragon book?
Yep, Eric.
Oh gosh.
Fuck that guy. No, I loved the first book or whatever, as did everyone who was 17 at the same time, and whose parent was like
Everyone who was homeschooled, and that was the only book they were allowed to read.
No, the book, I couldn't read it. The first time, that motherfucker, you could sit on it as a booster seat.
The length I couldn't do.
The third one, was it the third one? Whatever, I don't even know how many they did. When they got to the last one and they were like, please, for third, fourth, fifth perspective of this person, where you just had to skip every time his name came up in the chapter, thinking you were like, bye.
Okay. Okay.
But no, it was horrible. I hated that man so much.
Look how close I am, and look how far away you are.
Okay.
You're gonna sound like you're shouting across the room.
You're gonna sound like you were shitting in a bucket.
Why would I say that?
This is why I'm not allowed to talk to people, because my assumption of where they're going in a conversation is always wrong.
You can be yourself, because I'll just edit it out, and it'll just be me talking to myself.
Yes, where I thought it was going was
Hold
right.
the damn microphone.
I'm sit up straighter.
Be intimate.
No. Never gonna do that.
Be very close to it. Okay. So.
The worst POV ever known to man. I was
Yes.
That's what I'm on the side of all these people fell in love. If there's a key, there must also be a lock.
It's literally. So yeah, so it's first person, right? I think. This is embarrassing. As an English major, I can confidently tell you that it alternates between first person and third person.
No, people. Yeah, you killed them all.
Okay, so let's begin. So the first chapter would start off being introduced to Lore, who's the main character, and it's spelled Lor. So there's a lot of ways you could go with that for 3 letters, but Lore. Yeah, I don't know why we dropped the E off, but it's Lore. Lar. It's Lar. I know it's Lore because I listened to the narrator on Audible say it, and I assume that she checked with Nisha Tuli before she recorded.
You know, that's how ACOTAR got all of us, so.
I'm not. This was for fans of ACOTAR. So, Lar and Tristan and Willow, they are 3 siblings. Tristan is the oldest, Lar is the middle, Willow is the youngest, the bottom. They are in a prison in the kingdom of Nostraza, which is a kingdom ruled by the Aurora King.
Is there vampires?
No.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, no. Right?
Nostraza
No.
almost gave that
I know.
away.
I have issues for
What's this called? Presence of the Sun King? Rise of the what?
I'm not going to tell you again. Put it down. No. You're not allowed to look stuff up right now.
Why?
No, because you're going to look up plots. Like, no,
the love of the Sun King.
No, you're gonna ruin it, like, because you always look shit up, and you're gonna ruin it because you're supposed to be here.
I want to look it up because it sounds terrible.
No, you have to be here for the ride. So, they live in Nostraza, ruled by the Aurora King. They are in a place. They're in a
They are in a place. We're in a place. It's a bad place.
They're in a prison.
Why?
Right.
Are they bad mining children?
Exactly. Yes.
What?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
So the three of them have a bad life
The same as every other book.
Yes. They have a bad life in this prison, the three of them. They barely get by, and she does sexual favors for the guards in exchange for young enough, old enough that you don't feel like a pervert, but young enough that they should.
She's a sex crime. It's a sex crime.
She's not a sex.
She's not a sex crime.
Like,
Sex crime.
yeah. So she's like,
yeah.
she's like 18. I don't know. She's like, again, she's young. She's young enough that they should feel bad, but you shouldn't for reading it. So.
Did you read about the sexual favor?
No. Well, she talks about the taste of the salty cock, but. Yeah.
No!
Otherwise, there's not detail.
I hate it already.
So basically, it starts off where she's looking through her little locker, her little, like, prison locker.
They were in jail.
Yeah, they have like little jail lockers, and she's rifling through it because she's looking for the bar of soap that she sucked a salty cock for. And it's gone. The soap is gone.
So there was literally no reason for you to have done that.
She didn't even get to wash her ass with it.
Or mouth.
Right, neither.
Toothpaste, whatever.
So it turns out this bitch named Jude stole the soap.
Well,
And
Jude
she
should have
knows.
been the one-
Jude is like, I don't know what you're talking about, but she smells like the soap. So, so Lore is like, fuck this. And she jumps Jude. Same. Same girl. She's like, do you know what I did for that soap? Which we know.
Does she know?
We do. We know, you know.
Does she know though? Or does she just think that you had extra soap?
Oh, she knows because none of them have soap. It's like soap is like a hot commodity.
Like, hey, would you like?
It's not like they have soap to go around.
And she was like, no, and she just waited for someone.
No,
Jude
Jude just went through her shit like a bad roommate and took the soap because she was like, that looks good.
What she was doing for the soap, or was she just like, oh,
it's pretty well known. It's pretty well known.
Or was she just like, I'm just waiting for other
no,
people
like
to
if they
take the soap, he gives it out.
If someone has something good like that, like they probably did something nefarious to get it because they don't have anything because they're in jail.
That is so fucking foul.
Right.
Whose mind does this live in? I hate it.
So, so they get into a big fight, and she like salty cock. So, so they get into a fight, and then Jude is like, "Oh, I didn't do anything. She just jumped me. Who?" And I smell so good. And so
I hate it.
Lore gets taken, and she gets thrown out into the void. So the void is like this.
Preferable. I would have taken that.
Right.
Actually,
The void is like this outer part.
Is there a sign-up sheet for the void?
It's basically, yeah.
Put me down under the void, please.
Right. The void is basically like, I thought it was gonna be like
Is a crimey ass man gonna touch me in the void?
right. What is it called? Seclusion, isolation, or whatever they put you in, where it's like really inhumane when you're in prison.
Oh, yeah.
Solitary.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be like solitary, and I was like, oh wow, this is gonna be horrible, but it's just like outside.
Yeah, literally. Sign me up, boss.
It's just outside, and like people barely ever survive, but it just seems like it's outside.
Oh yeah, but please, we're in a book. Of course you're gonna survive.
Right. Well, she's been there before, and people come back
Does this
like
have a
crazy.
sequel?
As discussed, this is one of 3.
Because whenever there's a sequel, I'm like, well, you know she lives. There's another
Right.
one coming.
Well, it'd be a short book if she. Well, no, because we'd have third person from the other person.
No.
Right. So. So for chapters 2 and 3, she's just in the void, and like there's monsters and fireworks.
Again, I
and
would take the void over your sweaty dick.
yeah, and she like is hiding from some monsters in this cavern, and then it rains and it starts to fill with water.
Possible.
Starts to fill with water, and then The cavern. She's in a cavern. This little like dent or whatever. And
a tent.
Yes, whatever. Like a smidgen. And she's
You know what
a crack. I don't know.
Smidgen is how much
A crevasse.
measure,
A crevasse.
Flour and salt.
Okay, it's a crevice. She's stuck in there. It rains. She almost drowned. Okay, she prays all the time to this entity called Zara, like
Someone who's
Zara.
not listening.
Exactly. Where she prays and she's like, "Oh, Zara, answer my prayers by giving me a hiding place."
Zara
But then
be
she
fucked.
almost drowns in the hiding place. Zara is not a kind,
Well,
God,
there's somebody
Lord.
Okay.
So right. Okay. So chapters 2 and 3, she's in the void, and then she almost dies a few times. Zara is like, LOL. And then she gets like lifted and taken, and that's all. Goes to black. Okay. Chapter 4.
Oh, is that the whole book?
No,
Oh.
that's just chapter 4. Then we move on to Prince Nadir's point of view. So this is where it goes to third person.
Who's the second person? The guard?
Third person point of view. So we're watching Nadir.
I was like,
We're watching him. We don't know. We're watching him.
My bad.
And like we do know like
It
his
wasn't the guard,
it's
but the
really
leader.
I feel like it takes a lot of effort to switch those point of views. So we switch to him. It's third person, so it's not saying like
after that.
right. So it's not like
I
Nadir.
was ready to have my cock sucked.
So yeah. So it switches to third person, and we're in Nadir's story, and he is a fae prince. So Laura's human. All her friends are human.
I'm pretty sure.
You have to stay on track.
I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure that this is my track. I'm pretty sure that that's the name from the Prince of Persia. Onward.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah. So okay, we called it Soapgate to start off with. So after Soapgate, she goes to the void. We switch to Prince Nadir's storyline. He hates his life, and I hate it.
Really? Did he have to
I
suck
fucking
dick?
hate it. Right, he's very
Your
whiny.
life is really probably not that
Right,
hard,
for
sir.
someone who's never had to suck dick for a bar of soap, he's very
Maybe
whiny.
he is. We don't know.
Right, he hates it. He thinks it's so boring. His dad is very
He's
flat.
like a 1%er, and he's still.
And right.
Did you go down in a boat to the
My
Titanic?
life is not easy. I have a hard life too, just because I'm rich and I've never sucked dick for soap doesn't mean, okay?
They didn't invite me on the fucking Ocean Gate sub, and I
didn't even get to go. Okay, so he hates his life, and I hate his life too because it's so boring. And
And he was in his book.
and he's a prince, and I just like beta, you know. And his dad is a very flat character, and he tells him that
Well, obviously he has to be because we're gonna kill him and take his spot.
Yeah. So Daddy King tells Prince Nadir that he has to go find a prisoner that was taken. Surprise, it's Lore, who was just taken from the void. And they're like, he's like, it's really important. Which, if it was so important, why did you forget?
Boot her out the door anyway.
Right. So.
It's like a big wall thing. They just open a tiny door at the bottom.
Yeah. So with no context whatsoever, he's like, go find this person. He doesn't say who it is or what, if they're male or female.
We don't pay high-powered assassins to do it. We're gonna get my Weasley whiny ass son to do it.
Well, he's Fae, so he's got like special.
Oh my god!
He can smell.
Okay, I said, are they vampires? And she said, no.
They're Fae. I literally just said Nadir is a Fae prince. You need to listen to me. So he says, find this prisoner 4256 whatever. There's like a number on her head or whatever, and he doesn't say who the
She has a number on her head.
They're just like a number.
What in the
not in her head, just like metaphorically.
God.
Meta-fucking-phorically. And the dad doesn't give any context. He's just like, find this number of a person. And that's so stupid. He doesn't say, like, he doesn't make it easy. Like, hey, find this 19-year-old girl. She probably has dark hair. She maybe might be this height or whatever. He's just like, it is of utmost importance that you find this.
Could be a 90-year-old man.
Literally.
Could be a 2-week-old baby.
Literally. So that's it.
How will we know?
That's it. That's all that happens with Nadir. It takes a whole chapter.
They're gonna know. How will we know?
So we're moving on. So back to Lore. She wakes up in the Sun Palace, and there's this old lady who is wearing what sound?
In the Sun Palace, they're not the Sun Palace people.
No, they're Nostraza. He's the Aurora King.
Oh, I thought that was sun in their language. I'm not lying.
Sarah.
Andrew Sarah. I thought that was the name of their...
No.
My bad.
No, son is son.
I was like, okay.
All right. No, absolutely not.
It's son in this language.
No, okay. So, she wakes up in the Sun Palace. Just accept it.
You fuck someone for soap.
Right. You fuck someone for a dirty bar of soap. And then
but you won't take this for free.
You won't just lay in this bed and eat this bacon, but okay. An old lady, she is wearing what sounds to me like is a really ugly yellow lunch lady dress. I don't know why, but I'm very certain that's what it is.
Those books where they over-describe everything?
Not everything. Just like she picks a random fixed point and describes everything about it. So this old lady's taking care of her, and she's like, here's, bacon and syrup and stuff, and you've never had a good meal and you haven't had a good bath, wink, wink, in a long time,
We are the
with
ones
soap. Right. So they gave her a bath.
Sent that girl to steal
And
your soap.
in true protagonist form, she's having none of it. So she's like, I never asked.
Right.
She's like,
I don't want your food. I don't want your clothes. I don't want your money. I don't want your soap. Fuck you.
She says, like, I didn't ask to be here. And it's like, you literally did. You asked.
You were sleeping in a vomit trench.
You literally asked your god or whoever it is to Zorro. You asked them to save you.
Yes,
and I'm like, even if you're dead, just take it. So she's at the Sun Palace. There's an old lady.
Okay.
No one will tell her what's going on. She's given like a keeper, like a keeper person.
It's not the lunch lady?
No, his name is Gabriel, and he is hot and kind of a dick as well. And yeah, she's like, I don't know how to be here, and she says that a lot. Like, I didn't ask for this. She says that all the time, and it's like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. None of us did. Okay, she's tremendously unlikable. That does not change. So then, after that, after we kind of marinate in that for a little bit, she is taken with 9 other people into what we find out.
Are 9 other people also being fed and sleeping in beds? Or are they in jail?
No. So we'll get there. So we find out that those they start calling her and all these other 9 women tributes, and the other 9 are like pretty fey, well-educated people, and they take her into an Emperor's New Groove style lineup.
Is she a human person?
Yeah, allegedly. For the Sun King. So, like in the Emperor's New Groove when all the women are lined up and he's like, no, talking to all of them. Like, they're like, you have to choose a new bride, sire.
No, I don't remember.
Well, that's what's happening.
Oh.
And
I was like, what are we doing here?
okay, they line her and the other 9 tributes up. They've still told her almost nothing. Anyway, okay. So there's 10 altogether. They're called tributes. Are they tribute? Yeah, tributes. They line up for this.
Is that not exactly what they called them in the Hunger Games?
Yes. They line up for the Sun King to look at, and she and he make eyes at each other, like Lore and the Sun King. We found out his name is Atlas, which I don't hate. I kind of like that name. And it's spelled like Atlas, which is nice.
Oh, that's nice.
It's not like ATLYPDQS, So no silent letters. So they make eyes at each other and stuff, and she's the only human in the thing.
They have like 6 eyes and 4 wings.
No, he's just like a normal person. But like, they don't distinguish tremendously the difference between people and fae. It's just like suggested that fae are like a little bit better.
Blue skin.
No. Okay. So we find out that what these trials are like, it's going to be like 4 things for them to do, Taskmaster-esque. And some people die in the trials because some of the tasks are really difficult. And they haven't had trials in a very long time because it just happens whenever the Sun King, like a new Sun King, is ready to take a bride, and he doesn't. Yeah. They get 9 like people who've like trained their whole lives for it. And then they get one person.
People just be training in case one of them was like, you know what, I'm giving up the goat.
Right. So they introduce them all, and they say, when they get to Lore, they're like, this one is from the Umbra. And every trial, they take someone from the ghetto and they let them compete with all of the rich, fancy people, like, just in case, fingers crossed. So she's like, I'm not from the Umbra, and I don't know what that is, but okay. And that's all that's there.
Sure, wink, wink, no magic here.
And they tell her that that the final tribute, which is like her label, has never survived. That it always dies. Obviously, because there's 9 people who are like that version of Olympians performing in these things, and then they just get like a sewer rat. In a nutshell, we have the trials. It's 10 women competing for a 5-star man.
A 5-star man.
Okay. And
wait, does he think he's a 5-star man?
He knows.
Weenie dude from downstairs, or no?
He knows. He knows. Gross. Then we go back to Nadir, bumbling around. That's all.
So she didn't die immediately.
She did not die. Well, because they haven't started the trials yet. That was like the intro to it. So that's like where she finds out that like he's looking for a wife. So her prerogative kind of becomes like, if I have a chance in a million of winning, then she will be in a position of power to where she can go back and assist her siblings.
They're not gonna live that long. It's fine.
Probably not. So that gives her a little bit of like an incentive, though, to participate. So for the next 2 chapters, we're whining and we're learning about the area and where they are. And they're in like the bachelor mansion, basically, but like Fae palace version of it. And the king invites her to dinner because they were like making eyes at each other. And I just don't understand why it's just like, there's no question to it. Like, what do you want from me? I'm the only human here. I'm the only sack of shit. Laura and Atlas have dinner. We learn that he has a special gift of Mirage. Like, that's his fairy power, is Mirage. And the food is, like, orgasmic because it's so good. And then we have the trope of men who make you eat. The book trope that no one will recognize, that men that make you eat.
First off, that is a weird kink thing. And
yeah.
Why is
so
it happening?
He won't get we learn while they're eating that he won't have his full power till he gets his queen. So he can do like little Mirage tricks.
He's like,
but
fuck a woman, but I need more power.
Yeah, basically.
Fuck a bitch.
While they're in this dinner, they learn that she kind of learns why they were saying that she comes from the Umbra. So the Umbra is like the ghetto. And the reason why they have like this quote unquote final tribute from the Umbra is because they have a secret treaty with the Aurora Kingdom to where they get one. It's supposed to like keep things equal, because if there's a chance that one kingdom can have a chance at being the queen of the other one, it kind of keeps things like in this like tentative balance. It keeps things in this tentative balance of like perhaps the power, they have to be nice to each other, because what if our queen, one of our people becomes your queen, whatever.
I feel like if that is the case, then why are you keeping him in a soul bind?
These are not
the queen.
These are not the same. It is the Aurora King that is imprisoning people.
Oh.
Not the Sun King.
Who's the one with the treaty?
They have a treaty with each other.
Not Aurora?
Aurora and the Sun King have a treaty where the Aurora King gives someone to the trial of the Sun Queen, so that they kind of have to be tentatively nice to each other, the kingdoms. The Sun King doesn't have anything to do with the fact that the Aurora King lets people suck dick for soap in his kingdom. That has nothing to do with him. He's just like, let me get a tribute.
I feel like it has a little bit to do with that.
Not really.
It's not happening downstairs.
It's not downstairs. It's across the way. And there's the void in the middle.
No, the Aurora.
We have to go outside to get there.
The Aurora King is like, no to worry in the soul mine. This is happening. Maybe that lady will end up queen. It'll be fine. We'll wash her teeth.
Like, we'll get there. Well, it doesn't matter to him because she's not going to marry his son. I'm sure.
That's nasty.
Okay. So anyway,
like, it's fine if she's a little dirty. It's fine.
Well, I mean, there's some talk of consent, because she was very like, that's abusive behavior to withhold soap for a blowjob. It's been happening to her for years, and just this time she got the soap.
No, because if you had held out for 5 more
well,
minutes.
The Sun King doesn't know. He doesn't know that this one was
5 minutes later. Because they not in jail anymore. Like,
she didn't know. So she didn't know that any of this existed.
Like, we learned who cares? But
we learn about the treaty, and then dinner gets cut short, and he wants to see her again, and she questions that. She's like, but don't you need to spend time with the others? Shut the fuck up. Yeah, do you want to move in? Should we just push our beds together? About why is she questioning when the Sun King is like, oh, dinner was good, let's do this again. And she's like, but don't you need to spend time with the others? I'm like, again, should we push our beds together?
She's at camp. Just like,
should I just bring my stuff over to your room?
Were you talking to, let me just scooch in here.
Like, if it's a competition to where you're trying to like get him to want to marry you. Whatever. We find out about the sun mirror too. So basically, there's 4 trials, and they have to do with like your worth as a person, and then
she has none.
Right. No, well, she's got talents. And if you win, you get to stand in front of the sun mirror, which is a magic mirror on the wall. And the sun mirror will ultimately decide if you're fit to be queen. But like for the most part, if you get through the trials and everything, chances are the mirror will say, bing, bang, it's a match.
Does she stand in front of it and just roast the shit out of her?
We'll get there. So we get to the next chapter. Nadir is bumbling around again. He gets invited to the sun ball. He has friends that seem much smarter than him. It's giving Barbies, like playing Barbies as a kid when you're like, I'm going to wear this dress to the ball. That's what it's giving.
Okay, I don't play Barbies.
We find out there's going to be a sun ball,
I just set up the Barbies.
Nadir, smart friends, bumbling. He's bumbling, and he gets an invitation to the sun ball.
If he's just bumbling?
Because he's royal, so he's like, he makes a comment about how he doesn't like the trials. He thinks that they're they're exploitive. But bitch, you have people sucking cock for soap in your kingdom. So how are you gonna shit? How are you gonna shit on this guy?
Sir, we just had the Inquisition about the fact that we don't agree with the fact that you let people suck it for dials.
Right. Irish Spring. He makes a comment about that, and like the sun ball is like a milestone of the trials, so he like sent out the invitations, and Nadir gets one. Whatever. We see him get an invitation.
Really? Does it come on a bird or something?
Honestly, it's in a pretty gold envelope. We move back to Lore. Back to that POV. She's training with Gabriel. She's training to do stuff. She's like, they're training in like various ways, physical combat here and again, and then like, here's how you drink tea or whatever.
This is legitimately the same as the princess trials, except they tried to kill each other more.
We'll get there. So they ask if she's a virgin, like the group. Like there's this lady who's like the madam.
No, she's not, because she was fucking for soap.
Right. And they're like, well, because they think she's from the Umbra, right? They think she's from the ghetto.
Everyone there is a virgin?
No. And so they're like, you're probably not a virgin. And she's...
No, because we fucked for soap there.
She just like runs. They're like, you probably gave it away for a nickel. And I just feel like there was
what are you gonna do with a nickel?
I feel like there was an opportunity to be like, if it were me, I just feel like I would have felt empowered to say, no, bitch, I did it for soap.
I would have said yes very fast. That way I wouldn't have to tell the soap story.
They were like, I bet you gave it away for a nickel or whatever. And she's like, I know I didn't.
I would have said yes so fast. I would have been like, yes, many nickels.
Own your power. Own your power.
Some bread. Because then I wouldn't have had to tell the soap story.
Own your power. I would have been like, no, bitch, it was for soap, and then clocked her on the head. Because this character has no problem getting into physical altercations with people at every turn.
Like, if you didn't
want to tell
the soap story, though, you could have just been like, yeah, sure, it was for a nickel. Bye.
So she just, like runs away trying not to cry.
Opportunity.
Then,
you know when girls do that thing where they're like, oh, if you don't want to tell someone that that's your nudes, tell them it's mine if we look similar? That was like a thing that went around on the internet where they were like, if someone sends your nudes to someone and you don't want to tell them it's you, if we look similar, tell them it was me. I don't care. That was like a thing people did for each other.
Thank you for explaining that. I had no idea.
People were doing that. They're like, don't worry. If we look similar, if we have the same tattoo, tell them it was me. I don't care. That was like a nice thing people were doing. There you go, right there. Yes, I did it for a nickel. Like, don't tell the soap story if you don't want to. That right there is like a kindness.
Well, yeah, she just ran away.
It wasn't a nickel. It was 20 past.
She just she gets mad and she runs away, which is basically like a yes.
Right, like that's worse.
So
now you have to save it later, bring it back up, and still tell the soap story.
At the same conversation, the madam lady.
And I didn't get to keep the soap.
At the same conversation, the madam is like.
The who?
The madam, like the one who's like the late. Yeah.
I hate that.
The madam.
How do you? What do you say when the patients come?
Madame.
See right through here, madame. Madame.
So she...
Right this way, madame.
The madam is like, hey, Atlas is probably going to try to fuck you guys, but you cannot let him...
Soap when you're done.
She's like, you cannot...
ASMR soap.
She's like, you cannot let him fuck you. She's like, don't let Atlas fuck you. You're not allowed. He's going to try to fuck you, and you can't let him fuck you, because then you'd be ruined for him. Even though you're even though you're saving yourself for him, you cannot fuck him.
That's a weird...
Until the time is right.
What, he's going to be checking later?
Because what if he finds out that he ruined you for himself? So she's like, hey, don't fuck Atlas. Okay. Then we find out that the first trial will be some kind
Someone
of...
checking?
No, it will be some kind of Jeopardy-based trivia game. And she doesn't know anything about anything. So she has to...
know that's not true. She knows some stuff. She knows about salt mines.
She knows about prison. She knows how to be in prison.
The showers.
She finds out...
Void.
Okay. She studies a lot about the place, and some of the other tributes feel bad about being cunts about her having to suck dick for soap. And because the madam was like rooting around in her past to try to figure out about her sexual misgivings, and that was cunty of her. And so some of the tributes feel bad. So they come to help her study, but she has to learn everything, and she can't in one day. And so,
fancy that!
In the middle of the night, Atlas sneaks into the library where she's studying, and he gives her a journal of his own, and he's like, psst, psst, this will help you. And then he tells her to wear like clothes she can like move around in. The next day, she like tries to study. The next day, they're like off to the races. Mario Party style twist.
Mario Party or Mario Kart?
Mario Party style twist. They are to be hanging from ropes.
Is this the lava one?
Under a stage. No, it's water. It's water.
The same as that other
so
one.
they grab these ropes.
This is the lava one, and they were like throwing lava at them while they did shit. You know, wearing dresses.
No.
This is the same.
No. There is a platform and there's ropes.
They were on a platform and there was lava.
Okay, that's not this book. I'm telling you about this book. I don't care about that book. There's a platform and there's ropes hanging from it, and they grab the rope, and then magic propels the platform over to the ocean, over to the water. And it's far enough out that like they'll drown if they drop, but close enough that they can see, hear, and talk with the people back on the beach. And there's like perhaps little sea monster peoples.
Are you ready for veal of fortune?
What is very irritating is that whenever they ask her questions, she can't remember anything she studied. So what was the fucking point? It's so annoying. She's like, I don't know the answer. Well, then you could have just taken a nap then, couldn't
right,
you have?
Just slept.
You could have just not been up all night, but whatever. So she and only one other tribute are wearing like clothes that are good for like moving. The rest of them are wearing like big dresses. And so she's like, did he give a hint to the other girl too? Who cares? That's what I'm saying. They're all fucking whatever.
Or maybe the other girl just thought we shouldn't be wearing big ass dresses to everything we ever go to.
Right. Some of the people fall and drown, and this girl, she falls, and there's like these little like man-eating mermaids down there, and they come after her, and she beats the shit out of them under the water, and they don't address the fact that she punches them under the water.
Because no one can do that.
Right. And one of the other girls falls in the water as well, and then one of the man-eating monsters is going for her, and then Lore saves her. Instead of like swimming to shore to save herself, she goes and she helps the other girl. She hauls them back both to the shore. And then Atlas is there, and he's pawing at her face like, look at you did so good. You saved your friend.
Why is he pawing at her face?
Just pawing at her in general, like cupping her face and fawning on her, telling her what a good job she did or whatever, making a spectacle of like the attentions that he's bestowing upon her. And he's like, yeah, part of the trial wasn't only that you would learn trivia about me, but also that you would be able to swim to shore.
Because, you know, we like them.
So, because they had lifeguards, but the lifeguards weren't like helping them, and then
saving your life.
You find out that the lifeguards were like directed not to save them.
To give life. So why are they there?
They just like waited hella long, and then once you were basically dead, they'd fish you out. So
So par for the course.
Right. We move back to Nadir's point of view, and he's just bumbling around. Okay, so Atlas is really happy that she won, and we find out that the secondary endpoint of that trial was the whole, like, you survived and swam to shore. He sneaks into her room and gropes her while she's supposed to be seeing the healers, and they walk in on them, and he's got, like, his hand up her shirt. The healers. They're like, hey, what you doing? And he's, like, touching a titty.
No.
Yeah. See, like, they get walked in upon, and he's like, oh, I just forgot myself around you.
I just forgot that where your boobs
And
were.
leaves. And then the next little amount of time, he, like, sneaks in to see her whenever he can, and she, like, introduces him to, like, basic human empathy. And he tells us more of the plot. There's, like, there was, like, once a forgotten kingdom where the queen had too much power, and it was the kingdom of heart.
Okay. Raya and the Last Dragon.
Excuse me, I was thinking, what was that? I wish with all my heart to sail with dragons in a land of hearts. You know?
The Book Dragons?
Yeah. I was like, is this fanfic of the Book Dragons? Anyway, we also find out that the losers of the trials, like the girls who survive,
Big losers.
right, the girls who don't die end up being not handmaidens, ladies in waiting to the Sun Queen. Is that they're going to be taken care of, but they can't live their own lives. So, like, most, like, ladies in waiting of other royalty.
They're going to marry who they want.
Exactly.
They're going to end up sleeping with the guards for things they want, like soap.
Well, probably nicer soap, though.
Soap.
Probably not Iris Spring.
Not jail soap. Nicer soap.
So
they don't get to marry who they want.
I use Iris Spring. So they have dinner again. She introduces him to empathy.
All they do is have dinner.
Right. He eats her out on their couch.
No!
He eats her out on the couch.
No! Ew!
So they, like, eat dinner, and then he's like, nom nom.
Okay, you want to know what's worse, though? 100% worse. 150% worse is when they're eating a meal, and then a guy's like, I'm gonna do this to you on the table!
Ugh.
Sir.
Like when you're, like, back into mashed potatoes.
Sir.
Okay.
That is the fucking most disgusting thing I've ever heard.
She introduces him, again, to more empathy because she's like, hey, the Umbra probably sucks, and those people probably, like, don't want to live in filth.
She's never been there.
Right.
Nice.
He's literally like, well, they don't have to be there. They can leave if they want to.
Yeah, kick him in the void.
And she's like, yeah, you can't just do that. And he's like, what?
People don't have free will?
He was
People
like,
trap places they don't want to be.
this is brand new information.
That's what...
So anyway.
People said that whenever I was like, yeah, people can't just leave Mexico.
He eats her.
Like, they can leave if they want.
He eats her coochie. On the coochie on the couchie.
Like groceries? No.
You know that eating like groceries mean that you eat the ass, right?
No, I know.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
I hate it.
There's no mention of that.
No.
And then he's like, hey, do you want to go swimming? And she's like, no, last time I had to beat up a mermaid. And he's like, no, there's none in there.
He's like, no, I'm going to bring the lifeguards this time.
Yeah.
Won't just
basically,
watch.
he's basically, no, there's none in there right now. And she's like, okay, cool, let's play mermaids. And just kidding, but she does it.
Rock'em sock'em robot
The way that she describes the water frolicking, and he's like, hey, race you to the water.
Are they nude?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't think so. But, like, I just kind of got me the way he's like, race you to the water. I was like, is that supposed to be playful? I hate it. I hate it. I'll go back
That's
inside.
why I asked if he was nude.
I go back inside. Take me back. Throw me back in the void. I'm not doing this.
Changed my mind.
A man-child.
I'm
Like, you...
I'm going to marry that weird guard from the beginning.
Right.
He didn't.
Okay.
He wasn't missing that many teeth.
So we get to the next trial. It is a wipeout. Remember wipeout?
Oh!
It's a wipeout style obstacle course with a pit and a monster. One girl tries to get disqualified. It's like a high tension scene, but literally all you have to know is that it was wipeout and she didn't die. And that one girl tried to get disqualified, and we're like, why did you do that? And that's it. She didn't get disqualified because Laura wouldn't let her.
She wanted to go home because she saw him running playfully.
But you can't go home. If you lose, you end up being a lady in waiting. Deer is still bumbling about. And we learn from the girl. No, we learned from somebody. There was a trial 2 years ago. Supposedly there hasn't been one in years and years and years, but there was one 2 years ago. It was hush hush because Atlas didn't like the tributes Papa presented him with. So they all passed away.
He just nuked them all. He was like, fuck these girls.
So he was like, none, I don't like them.
He's like, this one's
And
ugly,
so-
this one's ugly, this one's stupid. stupid.
I told you it was like Emperor's New Groove when he just goes down the line and he's like, no. There are 4 at this point in time. There are 4 left because some more of them died during Wipeout. And you find out that the girl who wanted to get disqualified is gay.
I was gonna say,
and her
is Porco when she showed up.
No,
right?
she's gay, and she and her lover were both in the trial. She was another one who got disqualified, and so she was like, "We just want to be ladies in waiting together for life because they're in love." So she was trying to get disqualified, but she was trying to make it look like an accident because she'll get in trouble if it looks like you did it on purpose.
Yeah, I told you they weren't going to be able to end up with who they wanted to be with, so they're going to end up with side characters or guards. This
whole time, Gabriel, her little handler or whatever, has kind of just been there, but not doing that much.
He wasn't saving them when they were drowning.
No, but he was crouched, and that's how watching them, and that's how I know they were close enough to talk to each other, but far enough that they would drown before they got to land.
Can they fly?
No, I don't know, because there was the little platform was the platform was magical, but I don't think that individuals could fly. I don't know. There's not a lot of rules.
Can the fairies fly? Is my point.
I don't think so. We'll get to that. So maybe some of them, maybe the ones who are royal or something, have more powers.
How many times have you kicked your Stanley Cup over? That's going to be a running tally. It's not none.
Okay, so the third trial they find out is going to be at the Sun Ball. And they're going to have to, they're basically going to be given a mark, and that mark is going to have an object. They're going to have to convince the person to give them that object. Basically seduce it out of them. Because they're supposed to be showing how persuasive they can be. You know what a mark is, right? If you're conning someone, the mark.
That's not what I thought you meant.
Yeah, they're gonna be given Simba.
I thought you meant a birthmark.
No.
I was okay.
They are going to be given a person that they're basically supposed to be conning.
That's what I said, Marco.
That makes more sense, doesn't it? No.
I was I'm going to stamp them with a 666 on their face.
No, they're going to be given a person.
No, I came with my own.
They're going to be given a who they have to steal something from. They don't have to, basically they have to persuade the person.
Doing the, fucking Ocean's 11. Okay.
Yeah, they have to persuade the person to give them the thing without the person realizing hey, give me this. Oh, and the whole time she's had this necklace on, and they don't tell us about it until they do. And she's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, this girl has a necklace." And I'm like, "So Jude stole the soap."
Right, of all the things.
Whatever. So she has a necklace on this whole time. By the by, Laura has had a locket on this entire fucking time. And it's honestly, we find out later, it's got to be a massive fucking locket. No one says boo. So the third trial, they have to seduce a guest and get a specified item from their mark. All the other courts are there, and some of the people are gay, which is nice. I like it when it's a casual part of the plot, and it's not gay.
I assumed that
I like it when it's just an accepted part of their false society. Yeah, some of them are gay, which is nice. So Gabriel is supposed to tell her hey, now that we're here, here's your mark. Here's your person. Go get this from that person. She tries to find him because he hasn't told her who it is yet. And he's giving someone a blowjob in a side room instead of helping her.
Gabriel is doing that?
Yeah, Gabriel is giving the blowjob. And earlier he was bumbling around with some girls. So we're oh, that's nice. He likes both. Cool.
So he isn't helping. So he's fucked up.
No, instead of helping her, he's giving a blowjob.
Oh no!
So she finds this out because she walks in on him, and I thought it was going to be part of the plot. I thought, oh, Gabriel's probably giving a blowjob to her mark, and he's gonna be hey, so I went ahead and stole this.
I would not have assumed that.
I did.
Oh shit!
I did because he's been kind of trying to help her, and it looks good on him if she wins. So he has been trying to help her. And she's gotten pretty far, so they're oh, maybe she'll win. So, and in my head, I'm thinking, oh, good old Gabe is in here. No, he's gonna be he's gonna be hey, I got this brooch for you from this guy, and here's your thing. Haha. No, it wasn't it. We just it was not a part of the plot. We just waited with her outside the room for an hour for him to finish. For a good while. Oh, for him to finish. He finally tells her who her mark is, and it's Nadir. Little Prince Nadir. He's hey, go get his thumb ring. Fair. Get the thumb ring.
How is that first off not fair? Bad.
No, he definitely should get rid of the thumb ring. Yeah, that thumb ring should be
idea.
confiscated legally.
I would have been like, you know what? As recompense for me walking in on that, you get the thumb ring.
Right. You know how.
Right.
So
you absolutely have more. You have more pull than I do right now. You get it.
in true Nadir form, he bumbles into Lore. He thinks she is, oh my God, so hot. And then some shenanigans happen where they're like dancing and it's like a hurricane in both of their eyes, despite all of these warm and fuzzies she's been having for Atlas. Did I skip the part where they almost boned?
Who's they? You did them licking on the couch, which I did not love.
They do. Okay, we'll get to that point. So Gabriel's like, hey, this is your mark. It's Nadir. They run into each other and she's like, oh, come dance with me. And he's like, okay. And it's like sparks are flying, even though almost no interaction has happened. Atlas sees them dancing together and he has a shit fit. And he's like, why is he dancing with her?
Who picked this dude as the thumb ring giver?
Well, turns out.
If you didn't want me to talk to him, you shouldn't have put him on the list.
So that's the thing, is Gabriel lied. Find out Gabriel lied.
Bitch.
Right. Because she's like, because the item
Don't you throw that up here.
the item they're supposed to get is supposed to be,
Bitch.
the item they get is supposed to be significant. And he's like, what? I got this at like a thrift store on the way. And she's like, what? And then she's like, Gabriel, you lied to me. And he's like, I did.
I did do that.
We don't know why, but he gets demoted. He gets in trouble for that.
I feel like this whole evening has been not great for him.
Yeah, not great. Not.
It started off on a high note and then just went down.
This is
from there.
not Gabriel's best day. He gets demoted, and when Nadir, I forgot. So when when Nadir arrived, I said that we found out that he and Gabriel are frenemies. I said that, yeah.
You didn't say that.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
I said Nadir bumbles his way to the Sunball.
Yeah.
We find out he knows Gabriel.
You did not say that part.
Comma, they are
You
frenemies.
didn't say that. You said that he bumbled his ass there, and then you stopped.
Oh, Gabriel and he are
You
frenemies.
didn't say they knew each other.
Well,
Fuck.
now we fucking know.
Well, was he trying to fuck him? Is that why he's mad?
I wondered. I don't know. So,
That would explain some shit.
so Nadir gets banned for life from the Sun Kingdom for dancing with Lore, who is, for all they know, a nasty ghetto lady.
You just stop saying ghetto in that way because
The ghetto.
yeah, people don't know what you're implying.
Oh, okay. Well,
It sounds like you mean.
I mean it very distinctly in the ghetto.
No one else knows what that is.
Whatever. Oh, Gabriel gets demoted for lying about this. Nadir gets banned, and then Lore and Atlas almost bone, and he like begs her for that puss.
No.
She's like, we should wait. He's like, you're right.
He's like, we have to wait because I was instructed by the lady with the big stick
Right.
that you were gonna check later if I fucked you.
Right. So Nadir is back to bumbling, and he's scared that Daddy will be mad he got banned.
Which daddy?
Aurora Daddy. So she falls asleep next to Atlas, where they almost bone, but they don't.
Gross.
And then she wakes up in a Hoth ice cave, like Hoth, Star Wars Hoth style ice cave on the side of a mountain with the other remaining tributes. And they're there for like 2 days, just writhing around in the ice cave,
No.
trying to figure out what they're doing. And then she figures out, because she kind of starts to look at things a little funny, that it's a mirage. Because remember, his gift from the beginning was like the gift of mirage. The ice cave was all a grift. And she jumps off the edge of it. She's like, I think that we're supposed to jump out.
Magically catch her?
Well, she like jumps out and lands in a nice garden.
Oh my god.
Right. That's it. That's like several chapters.
Oh my god.
So she lands in this nice garden where there is an unbirthday picnic, like Alice in Wonderland's type unbirthday feast.
Was your goal to come up with a weird scenario for every single one?
It's just what I pictured. It's what I pictured for everyone.
And then it was like
Yes.
this.
So there is like this feast, and there's peanut butter in it, which I have a lot of issues with.
Oh my god.
Okay, but peanut butter was invented very recently. Very recently. Like, why not just say she was eating cheese puffs? If we're gonna...
Why?
if you're
Was
gonna
it
go there.
unseen? Because there's no way.
I don't know, but there's like pastries and all these delicious things, and she eats this big bite of peanut butter flavored something, and I was like, hold on now, that is like the whole issue of like champagne and fantasy, where they're like, champagne is named for the place in France where it's made. Otherwise, it's just sparkling wine. So just say sparkling wine.
I'm gonna throw up. I don't know why you said that.
What, peanut butter? So why not just say some like? Why not just call it nut paste? Nut paste or something. Why the peanut butter? But whatever. It's just.
You gotta stop drinking peanut. I'm gonna throw up.
I had such an issue with that. Anyway, they're eating, and then she sees out of the corner of her eye, she sees her brother, and he's just running, bounding around in like the background, which turns into a hedge maze. So like it turns out that basically their feast was in the middle of a hedge maze, and then their loved ones are bounding about throughout the maze.
Fucking why?
I don't know. She runs after him. He's running from her.
Obviously.
She finds a sword, like just a jewel encrusted sword. She trips over it and picks it up. Why? We don't know. Why is it there? We don't know. And then there's some monsters, some big hairy monsters. Her brother kind of like dissipates into
Disco Inferno. Why?
Her brother like dissipates into the foliage, and then her sister materializes. I can do it.
None of these people are real.
She runs into the gay girl who has like spiraled into this manic state. She's catatonic, actually, just rocking back and forth, talking about how much she hates it. She can't believe that he's tortured them this much throughout these trials. It's quite
same girl, me too.
Meanwhile, Lore is just running around trying to find her siblings who are eluding her grasp or whatever. And then there's some monsters chasing them.
Hunger Games, that part where they brought all their loved ones and they were screaming and shit.
Right. They're running through the maze. There's monsters. She's trying to help her sister get from the monster. And then all of a sudden there's this door and her sister runs through it. So she's like, me too. And she runs through the door as well. And on the other side of the door is a surprise party.
You are fucking with me.
Is a surprise party.
For Satan.
For her, for the people who won. And the surprise party is for...
And they sent the sister out to run around in a maze to lure her through. That was their big...
Yes. But her sister was never there. It was a mirage. And the trial was that you were supposed to get your loved ones. You were supposed to protect them.
From what?
From the monsters until they could get through the door. Gabriel is out of time.
That is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard.
Gabriel is back. He's out of timeout. They're like, surprise, Laura, you can stand in front of the sun mirror now. And she says, fuck you, I don't want to stand in front of the sun mirror. That was really weird what you did just then.
Yeah, good. Okay, good.
And he says,
really weird. I don't like that.
No. Papa said I could have a wife. You will stand in front of the mirror. So he forces her to. He's like, you've got to.
We're back to grody men forcing us to do things that we don't want to do. My favorite.
So Gabriel.
So the beginning of the book and the now of what is beginning, middle, end, same thing.
Gabriel, whose motives we are still questioning, they're hinting that perhaps he has like ulterior motives to where maybe he's not like, super bad, but he's like, you're gonna stand in front of this mirror. You see here, hussy. He makes her stand in front of the mirror, and the mirror says, hello, your highness. You're not supposed to be here, and this union would be forbidden. But like only you and the mirror are privy to your conversation. And when she stands in front of the mirror, she has a flashback, and you figure out the reason that she was in that first prison to begin with was basically that her parents were like on the run, and they had her and her sister while they were on the run. And then the Nostraza soldiers from the Aurora King had come to capture them or kill them. It's really not specific on like why they're marauding, but basically Laura's parents died to protect her and her sister. It didn't work.
Where the fuck's her brother?
We'll get there. She's like, oh, my parents died to protect me. Did they though?
Did they?
I think they just...
You're still in jail.
Right. I think they just died.
Period. Full stop.
And her mom gave her the locket before she died. I think her parents like tried to hide the girls to save them. They just died. The girls were like shoved into the caravan of the soldiers taking people back as prisoner. And as they were coming back, they stumbled upon Tristan, who's the brother. And he was hiding in the woods after having killed 3 of the Aurora King's soldiers. So he's not their real brother.
Oh, charming.
Right. But he was like, he like came to the prison with them. So he was sentenced to like life for his crimes, and they were just shoved along with him as if they were siblings. So it kind of makes sense, but also very much it does not.
So where do they technically belong?
The Kingdom of Heart, probably.
Oh.
Probably. Like,
Probably.
I don't know. If I had to wager.
Probably.
So the mirror calls her Your Majesty, and I guess that's supposed to be like, but as soon as they said like, oh, we don't know what happened to the Queen of Heart, it's like, well, okay, I could guess, I could wager. And there's this gem, like this powerful gem that's been missing from the Queen of Hearts like legacy. What do you think's in that locket? Like, but what also begs the question, that locket's got to be huge.
Right.
It's got to be.
Third nipple.
It's either huge or it's like 1/10 of a carat. It's like, it's either huge or worthless.
Swangin'.
The mirror says, calls her Your Majesty, says you can't, whatever. They're like, hey, what did the mirror say?
Why can't she?
The mirror says it's forbidden because technically, assuming that she is descendant of the Queen of Heart, the kingdoms are not supposed to intermarry like that because it messes with the powers. That's why your mate or what have you is supposed to be like not royal. Right. They're like, what did the mirror say? And she's like, the mirror said I'm not worthy. Because she's not going to be like, surprise! So she's like, the mirror said the other girl was supposed to come look at it. And the other girl is like, yeah, good. But then Atlas is like, no.
I don't care what the mirror said. I love you.
He says, no, fuck you. You have to marry me no matter what. And he, also no one this whole time has questioned the locket. What's in your locket?
What's in the locket that's bigger than your titties?
What's in the locket that almost weighed you down and drowned you? What's in there? What's in there? Not one time.
Rat. It's a living rat.
So he says, no, you have to marry me. Boom. She's in jail, but this time she says she feels so free. And perhaps it's because like she had a feeling. Maybe she had a feeling about her family ancestry, but she was so young she didn't know for sure. And now she feels like she knows. I don't know. That's all I could gather.
Pinocchio, man.
That's it.
That's
There's an epilogue. That's it. That's the end. There's an epilogue where...
When did this book come out?
I'm not done. There's an epilogue where Nadir's friends rescue her and take her to a different house. Not Nadir. No. No, not Nadir.
Either, though, because that's intermingling the shit, too.
Well...
So she's not going to end up with him.
I'll be honest with you. There's 2 more books. That can be your homework.
I'm not reading that shit.
You can read book 2.
When did it come out? Are these even done?
Yeah.
Are they over?
It's just now finished. It's just now finished. They did not bone. The only person she had sex with in this whole story was some guards, which was robbed. She almost boned him, and she got eaten out on the couch. So when I told you, I thought it was going to have a fast plot.
Oh my god.
I thought it was going to have a fast plot and smut. It didn't not have a fast plot. It did not have smut. But it was as if it was like, we don't have Coke, is Pepsi okay?
No. I've not drank Pepsi in like 2 years. Oh my god.
Well, now you've read it. Or you've heard it.
Fuck me.
That's
that
the
was
end.
Not good.
And that was the trial of the Sun Queen.
First off, it wasn't the trial, and she wasn't the Sun Queen. No one was the Sun Queen.
Well, it's like High School Musical, you know?
There was a high school and there was a musical.
Not really. High School Musical didn't have a musical in it. Well, I mean...
It wasn't all of a high school and there was musical.
Yeah, but like they were doing a musical and you didn't see it.
You didn't get to see that musical? That's why you were mad?
Yeah, I was mad about that. Still am a little bit.
I bet you someone did it at some point.
That's what the whole new season was about.
Ew.
Did
you watch that?
All of Olivia Rodrigo got her start on.
Jeez, okay.
In that context.
Didn't know that.
I saw like one episode of it. It was not good. To wrap it up, we have to do a Where Are They Now?
No.
I think that the guard from the beginning had some charges brought up.
He got his teeth kicked in.
I think he got some charges brought up. I think Nadir is... Let me think.
I think he gives up his throne to end up with her in whatever town she ends up in.
We're You don't know how this... You're not doing this right.
You said
Okay.
speculate. I'm speculating.
Okay, I think that Atlas... I think his dad was a lawyer.
What? I think that Atlas ends up sucking his own dick on his own tadpole like Tamlin in Avatar. Sad. But they don't kill him because they made him a little bit likable.
Well, you I think
What?
I think Nadir has is going to nepotism his way into a good job that he is not qualified for. Okay. I think that his friends are never going to challenge him on that, but they're going to talk shit about him behind his back. The girl is probably just going to they're probably going to forget about her like they forgot about her in Nostraza. They're going to forget she's in jail and she's going to get kidnapped by the next people. I see that
She's
returning.
She's gonna make a shit-ass queen whenever they're gonna be like, oh, we're so glad we found you. You can be queen. Even though we weren't looking for you and you have none of the job requirements it requires to be queen.
But
just because your blood lineage says you should be, here you go.
She does, though, because she passed all the Sun Queen trials, which were supposed to show you if you'd be a good queen.
In that country.
Sorry, I'm not qualified for this job. I was certified in the other one. Sorry.
I thought Aurora meant son in this language.
Sorry.
And I haven't been praying to so-and-so in a while.
It's like a bachelor's degree. They don't care what it's in. They just care that you have it.
Horrible. Horrible.